wind-up island of Sodor, Thomas was hard at work. I don't believe it! 2016 has come, 15 has gone, and there's been nothing to celebrate my 70th anniversary. Not even a video by XtremeTrainz! At Welthorpe Station, Edward was busy. There were trucks everywhere. Some needed to be loaded, others unloaded, and wherever he looked there were things that had to be done. Good morning, Edward. Hello, Thomas. How was your trip? Good, lied Thomas. But I'm finished now. These trucks will be left at Wellsworth, apparently. Really? My driver and fireman just checked the day manifest, and there was nothing about you giving me any trucks. Oh well, I'm sure someone will come and pick them up by the end of the day. In the meantime, you've got to pick up those other 2 trucks over there and take them to Knapford Station. More trucks? But what about Annie and Clarabelle? Who's going to run my branch line? Please, Thomas, calm down. Those trucks are to go to Little Weston, but Oliver's taking Annie and Clarabelle on your branch line, and you'll meet him at Knapford Station, where you can take your coaches and he'll take the trucks. Thomas shunted round the sidings, slotting in between some wagons and sliding past others, till he was coupled up to his train and back on the main line. All right, Edward, I'm off. Have a fantastic day, said Thomas, almost sarcastically. Oh yes, Thomas. You too. But Thomas had already gone. Later that day, Thomas was waiting at Maythwaite Station for the all-clear from the guard, with Annie and Clarabelle on his branch line, when he heard the theme of a familiar controller, and decided to wait. Hello, Thomas. Said the fat controller as he looked at his pocket watch. You should have left 30 seconds ago. What is with the delay? I'm sorry, sir. I just had a quick question, sir. I was wondering, sir, if you could tell me what was in those wagons. I reckon it was paint, so Annie and I could look splendid for the summer holidays. Oh no, Clarabelle. It'll be new upholstery for our seats, to get rid of the smell from those animals in season 19. And I must say, sir, I know we're past this, but you did say it was a very special. Before the fat controller could answer, a familiar green tank engine puffed into view. Hello, Thomas! Look what I've got on my flatbed! On the back of Percy's flatbed was the model of the engine with a short, stumpy dome, a short, stumpy funnel, and 6 small, stumpy wheels, although missing the 2 wheels in the middle. Thomas, it's a model of you! Doy, who else was it supposed to be a model of? To celebrate 70 years of Thomas and Friends, I've decided to erect a monument in your honor, Thomas. It will be mounted on a monument at Knapford Station. You, Thomas, brought the supplies to build that monument. Finally! I thought I wasn't going to get anything for my 70th anniversary. I mean, it has technically expired. Technicalities. Now off you go, Thomas. You're certainly running late, and I don't want you having any accidents. Of course not, sir. I'm really reliable and right on time. Usually. And with that, Thomas excitedly hurried away. Back at Wellsworth Station, Edward watched all day as trains came and went. Trucks came in, trucks came out. Passengers were unloaded and passengers were loaded. But all the while, the trucks remained on the siding, with no one coming to collect them. Mused Edward. Well, if you say that's the updated manifest and there's been nothing about those trucks, we'll have to sort it out tomorrow. I'm off to the sheds for bed.
You can't just leave me here. I have rights too.
Oh, shush up, you. You're sounding like a men's rights activist on the internet. Good night. At the Tidmouth Shed complex, the engines were in lively discussions. Molly and Emily were discussing the latest season of WWE. Henry was praising the advantages of now becoming a tank engine, and Toby was musing about why it was that steam trams had been phased out and replaced for electric engines instead. Don't worry, Percy, I'm sure you'll understand. At that moment, Thomas barged through the north portal, entering into the Tidmouth Shed complex. Hello, everyone! Guess who's having a statue made in their honor? Not you! Ha 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 ha! Wait on! Percy, why is your mail truck still in the yards? Don't you need to take that to the depot to be filled with parcels to be delivered tonight? Well, Thomas, about that. Pulling that statue was so heavy it cracked one of my cylinders, and now I'm stuck. Then why don't you just go to the steamworks and get repaired?
Don't be silly, Thomas. We can't show that on screen, so it can't happen in the story.
Oh yes, you're right. TOMY Stream doesn't own the Wind-Up Railway Steamworks. Therefore, Thomas, Percy was wondering if you could take the mail for him. But I've spent all day working really hard. Come on, Thomas. You can take an extra train. If you're as sprightly as I am as a tank engine, you'll be perfect. Come on, old boy. Looks like we better take those mail cars. Well, Thomas, looks like it's unanimous. You're taking the mail tonight. One engine and a crew that only appears when it's convenient for the plot does not count as unanimous. Fine. I'll take the mail. By the time Thomas had taken on more coal and water and coupled up to the mail car, it was very dark, and the lights of the sheds had to guide Thomas's way as he puffed into the darkness. At Maithwaite Station, darkness slowly fell. All of a sudden, a strange noise reverberated through the station. Being animate is hard work. Now, time to get off this flatbed. Bust my buffers! Looks like us Thomas Minis are slightly too big to fit on these tracks. Oh well, it'll have to do. Now, time to find those freight cars and get the other engines. And take what is rightfully ours.
Steam train at this time of night, what?
Hello, trucks. Glad that Thomas delivered you right on time.
What's happening?
Don't you worry, truck. You'll see. Alright, I hope the portal's ready. Thomas, bow! Fantastic, Thomas. We're all here. Wait a second, Scarloey, you're a narrow gauge engine.
Never mind that, Emily. Us Minis don't have narrow gauge. Moreover, neither do they have them on this railway.
Okay, party time's over. We've got a railway to invade.
But Thomas, won't the Fat Controller notice in the morning when there's two versions of all his engines out and about?
I've sent the other engines out there to block the lines. And I've made sure the Fat Controller's extra busy tomorrow, so he'll have no time to get to the Tidmouth sheds. Come on, Minis, this is our time. We're finally going to have our own railway system. At that moment, all the Thomas Minis which had come through the portal inside the two troublesome trucks cheered with delight, whistling like there was no tomorrow. Now I've just got to hide these trucks somewhere inconspicuous. Thomas pushed the trucks into the siding underneath the coal hopper. But I need a distraction in case another engine comes to collect them. Who's an engine that no one knows about and no one cares about? Sydney! Perfect!
So what is it exactly that I'm supposed to be doing?
Guard these trucks, don't let anyone take them from you, and make sure to look inconspicuous. Now I'm off to collect Annie and Clarabelle. In a nearby siding, Diesel 10 was watching with malicious intent. Excellent, I waited too long to get my hands on a magical engine. There isn't one in Mini's form, but I know there's a lady on this railway, and she will be mine. Isn't that right, Pinchy?
Diesel, I don't think that was part of the plan.
Diesel? Uh-oh. Darkness had fallen over the island of Sodor, and all the engines were resting at the sheds. Little did they realize an unwanted and unexpected visitor was arriving on the railway. My hearties, looks like this be the location that Thomas be talking about. Not so loud, Salty. We must not wake the other engines. They can't realize what's going on. We'll keep these engines trapped in this siding for as long as Thomas needs, won't we, Bill? Yes. They'll be confused and delayed forever. Isn't that right, Ben? And without any of the wind-up engines realizing it, they were trapped. The next morning, as Thomas was returning weary-eyed to the Tidmouth Sheds complex, he heard a kerfuffle in the distance. Something doesn't seem right about any of this. There shouldn't be anyone at the sheds. They should all be out getting ready to pull their trains. Thomas peered through the southern tunnel portal into the shed complex and was shocked by what he saw.
Let me out of here. I have to pull the flying kipper.
I am the master of the railway, and you will let me through. No, you won't, my hearties, and if you try and do anything silly, Thomas will be having a word with you. Oh no! What madness is this? Wait a second. Salty didn't look like Salty. He looked like something I've seen before. The statue! To bring a statue to life has to be some kind of magic. We've only got one magical engine on this railway. But I have to find her. She's the only one who can save us. And with that, Thomas quickly puffed away, heading for a faraway place on the island of Sodor. Meanwhile, the railway was acting as if nothing was wrong. Percy was waiting at Maythwaite Station for Thomas to arrive so that he could continue with his empty freight cars down the branch line. Hello, Percy! Isn't it such a joy having your own railway and rolling stock?
Indeed it is, Thomas. But what are we going to do with all the other engines that actually have this railway?
We won't go! We won't go! We want our Thomas! You will come with me, Annie and Clarabelle, or you'll never see your Thomas ever again. And with that, Annie and Clarabelle fell silent, and Thomas pulled away from the station, his passengers never the wiser.
Thomas? Thomas! What are you going to do to those other engines?
At Wordsworth Station, everything was running like clockwork. Minnie's Edward made sure that all the trains were leaving and arriving right on time. In fact, even the Fat Controller arrived to see what exactly was going on. My goodness, Edward, what has exactly gotten into you today? I've had no incidences reported on this railway, and my trains are running to record time. Oh, nothing, sir. We're just working really hard on your railway. A new year, a new you. That's what the young people say. Yes, sir. We've been working very hard today, and hopefully you will reward us. Well, if you continue like this, hero, you will certainly be getting that new coat of paint you asked for. Just one question. What's Sydney doing over there under the coal hopper? He is a diesel engine, and he's meant to be at the diesel works. Oh, Sir Topham Hatt, you know, the normal. Nothing conspicuous. Very true, Edward. Sounds about right. Okay, well, I'm off. If you keep things running like this, every engine on this railway will be getting a new coat of paint. Thomas was right. This Sir Topham Hatt does seem to be a little bit odd, don't you think, hero? Indeed, Edward. It will be easy to take this railway, I feel. The engines have no idea what's coming. We will destroy them and take the wind-up railway for our own. I mean, what? Thomas, the engines are still in position. What is your next command? Good work, Scruff. But now you must hurry. The Fat Controller hasn't been to the rubbish dump or Brenham Docks or the clay pits, but he's on his way there now. You have to be ready when he comes. The 4 engines quickly scurried away to take up their positions on the island of Sodor, while the steam team pulled in to watch over the Tidmouth Shed complex. You will be pleased to know the Fat Controller has not noticed any of your engines missing, and is actually more impressed with our behaviour than yours.
Yeah, looks like this railway will be staying in the domain of the Minis forever. Ha!
Everyone, please calm down. We must wait until the time is right before we take this railway and destroy the wind-up engines.